Over the years of using guitar effect pedals with Clarinet, the pedal board with all of my effects has expanded quite a bit. In this video though, I want to show you how you can get started by putting together a smaller board of basic effects. And though the pedals I'll walk you through are geared more towards the modern classical clarinetist, this mini board build can be easily tweaked to fit any genre of music. Let's get started. First, why use a board? In my first year of using pedals, even with just 3 or 4 effects, I found myself spending too much time focusing on setup and breakdown around performances. This included things like setting up the power supply, plugging in patch cables, placing effects in the correct order in the chain. This was important time that could have been spent warming up and doing sound checks. Having a board gives you a way to skip these steps and have everything in your signal chain already set up and ready to go. Now, boards can take all sorts of forms, but to keep things simple, you can start off with something like this. I went out and got some plywood from my local hardware store and placed a couple strips of Velcro tape to keep the pedal secure. You don't have to have a case for your pedal board, but in case this provides inspiration, I've cut it into a shape that would fit inside an old modified clarinet case. I just love the blue color of the inner padding way too much. Next, we need a power supply. You could power each pedal separately, but having one supply to route power to multiple pedals just makes things easier in terms of cable management. This 10-pedal power supply by Otraki was around $30 online. I'll leave a link to it down in the description. I've upgraded to a better one on my main board since then, but for those on a tight budget, I haven't had any issues with this one. It has a couple of screw holes on the side, so we're just going to quickly mount this on there, and our pedals will be all set in terms of power. The pedals we're going to put on this represent some of the more common effect types you might see in solo classical music. And for starters, we're going to put an octave pedal on here. The OC3 Super Octave from Boss is great for adding depth to the sound by shifting the pitch 1 and/or 2 octaves below the instrument's tone. Next, we'll add some delay. This is by far the most common effect you'll see in solo repertoire, so as a classical musician using effects, it's important to have a versatile delay pedal. For me, I've always loved using Joyo's D-Seed. For those who haven't seen my demonstration of this pedal's capabilities, you can find it here. The 6-second max delay time and the 4 different types of delay are the biggest selling points for me, and it's just an awesome unit capable of a ton of different sounds. Finally, we're going to add some reverb. You might not see this effect specifically listed in a lot of electroacoustic music, but I just love having this for venues with drier acoustics in particular. Having a little reverb for those performances really does a nice job of creating ambience and opening up the sound. The 3 Series reverb from JHS is simple but effective, and honestly nowadays I just leave it on most of the time on my main board. And here's our finished board. I'll leave links to all of this down in the description, but before we end, here's a short demonstration of this board in action, featuring composer Jenny Brandon's Cacophony for solo clarinet, which was commissioned and premiered in 2021. As always, I'll be using my piezo barrel pickup with this board, and it's all running into my Ion Total PA Max. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. And if you like this video, it helps a lot if you give it a like and subscribe to this channel for updates on future content. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I hope you enjoy.